Okay, Saturday, February 23rd, 2019, Kodak area, Snyder Road by Smoky Stadium, going across Snyder Road, 139 Old Dandridge Highway to Straw Plains. You get an idea of how bad it's flooded up here in places that it usually don't flood. They did a great job with the new bridge here on Snyder Road, or else this would have probably been under about 4 foot of water. Passing Harding Road. The big dip coming up here. Looks pretty deep. I'm going to have to stop and adjust my suspension to off-road height to make it through it. It looks about 12 foot deep. 12 inches deep in the middle of the roadway. And continuing on 139 toward Asheville Highway. Another spot with about 3 inches of water coming across at Bird Road. Lots of debris in the roadway. Another about 3 inches of water in the roadway. Passing Banks Trail. We're coming up on the old cemetery here at 139 in Asheville Highway. Pretty low-lying area. I expect it will be quite flooded. There are several trees that have been falling over because of the saturation in the ground, root balls and all sticking up. As you can see off to the left, it almost looks like a huge pond. Passing Jones Drive. Here we come to the low-lying part. Fortunately, the roadway seems to be fairly clear. But as you can see in the low-lying areas, it looks pretty much like Cherokee Lake. This is by the old cemetery at the intersection here with Thorn Grove Pike coming up on Asheville Highway. The intersection of Asheville Highway, Snyder Road, and Highway 139, Old Dandridge Pike. There are some fairly deep runoff trenches along Old Dandridge Highway from this point to Andrew Johnson Highway. Some places they're 6, 7, 8 foot deep. I imagine they will be running over and looking more like the Little Pigeon River than a drainage ditch. You can see Berry Ridge subdivision starting to creep up toward the basements of the houses on the left, the low-lying part. And we are now on Highway 139 passing Riddle Road. See how the drainage ditches are starting to be filled up. Very little traffic out, unfortunately. Yet to run into anyone that's tried to traverse an area too deep and got their vehicle stuck. So far, so good, fortunately. Jefferson County's got high water signs out. Several driveways with low points have flooded over, cutting access to the houses off completely. There's Reagan Road by Hillbilly Auto Parts. You can see one of the drainage ditches spilling out onto the highway, putting debris out on the highway. And it appears we have an emergency vehicle of some sort up here near Douglas Dam Road. He's trying to relieve some of the pressure in the drainage ditch to keep it from spilling out onto the highway. Doing a fine job there, Mr. T-Dot worker. Here's one of the driveways I was talking about. Residents here are obviously completely cut off. That's probably about 3 foot deep there. Now imagine these drainage ditches from here on down will be getting worse and worse because this is where the gravity takes over on the downhill part leading out to the river on the other side of Andrew Johnson Highway. It's Piney Road. Some of the trees down that's had to be cleared. Several trees with root balls turned over. There's a couple inches of water running across the road. Imagine these culverts will start to get jammed with debris. Make this horrible situation even worse as the rain continues to fall. Another high water sign Jefferson County's got out here at Daybreak Bay. Intersection of 139 Hickory Road and Galber Road. And you can see there's quite a bit of overflow from the drainage ditch. 2 or 3 inches of water there on the road. This is probably about a foot and a half of water on the road. Westford Drive. Now we start to the steep downhill, passing the Market Fire Station number 2. Drainage ditch flooding will probably get a lot worse. Now these drainage ditches you see off to the side of the road here, these are about, when they're dry, anywhere from 5 to 7 feet deep. You can see they're just about to crest over and come out into the roadway. These driveways are about to be overcome with water. As you can see, this ditch here is about 8 feet wide. I know when it's dry, it's 6 or 7 feet deep. I'm going to be turning right here on Blue Springs Road. I'll try to give you a shot of this field and pasture. That drainage ditch there is probably one of the widest, deepest drainage ditches in this line. And as you can see, that those folks' property is completely underwater. I apologize for the fingers in the way and shaky video, but I'm trying to drive safe and do this at the same time. If it gets unsafe, the camera is going to go flying, so. Up in elevation here, so it shouldn't be too awfully bad, other than the houses that are in the low-lying parts on either side. Oh, there's about 8 inches of water. Several driveways washing out, all the gravel and mud coming out onto the pavement. You get a lot of gravel and mud washing out from a couple of driveways. A couple inches of water coming down the middle of the road. Fixing to come up to a couple of residences at the intersection of Blue Springs and Bruner Road in Jefferson County, Straw Plains area, that usually flood pretty bad. And at that point will be the end of the video. Just wanted to show you what it was like Saturday, February 23rd, 2019 in the Kodak, Straw Plains area. And I'll try to get you a shot of these houses that usually flood a lot. Right here on the right. You can see it's out into their yard. Their driveway is cut off to a couple of houses. Pretty bad. Thank you, folks. I did it safely, I promise.